What's up, you beautiful collectors and action figure fans? Thanks for tuning in. Once again, it is the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And if you're new here, I hope you enjoy. If you haven't already, why don't you subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed? That way you can hear loud motorcycles go by my window. Or you can get updates whenever I upload a new video. And also, if you are new here, as well as all of you that usually come around, why don't you hit that thumbs up button? Give me that like if you enjoyed the video. Let me know. But today, we're going to be taking a look at the second part of what I was talking about in my previous review. That is going to be Batman from Batman Beyond. Now, as I talked about in that original video, this was originally a 3-pack set that came with Bruce Wayne, Ace, and Batman, or Terry McGinnis as Batman. But for whatever reason, McFarlane Toys has decided to split these into separate releases. I don't know why. I honestly, I couldn't tell you why. Because in my mind, if you're going to want one, you're going to want the other, and vice versa. It just makes sense. I do hope these are the only Batman Beyond figures that the DC Direct people did. And now McFarlane Toys having the license for DC Direct is re-releasing these, which I like and I appreciate. I don't understand the split up. At least like when I was taking a look at that Alfred figure, it made sense that they split that up, because the only way to get that Alfred figure was to buy that very expensive Batcave, and it's even more expensive now. This set wasn't all that expensive, so I don't really know why you would split it up, to be totally honest. This Bruce Wayne figure was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Terry McGinnis, or Batman, I should just refer to him as Batman because he is Batman now, was also sold there, but it did not have the McFarlane Toy sticker on there. This was bought, I want to say, this was bought at retail, so Walmart, Target, something like that. I'm not entirely sure, to be totally honest with you. A lot of these gold label ones are Target exclusives, though, I believe. But this sticker here, I'm trying to see McFarlane Platinum Edition. So I have no idea. But this figure was purchased at retail. I had to buy this guy from a seller on Mercari. So that's how I got him. You already saw the video on him. You already know what's going on. So getting this out of here, because we already took a look at him, but I just, did the package thing. Batman, though, very much like what the other releases from DC Direct. You can see you might not be able to, the display stand back there. All of those original DC Direct figures came with them. McFarlane, with these new ones, have not been including those display stands. But the biggest thing is he's got a very thin foot kind of design. I mean, that's the way that the animation was. I mean, this guy's very animation accurate, but he had very small legs, very small feet, and a large upper body. So he's probably going to have a hard time standing. So they still included that display stand, but I also don't see like a collector card in there. So I have no idea, but you can see several different accessories here. His wings are in there. You got the new versions of the Batarang, which is absolutely, I love those. A couple different hands. It says Batman Beyond right meow. You got the Batman Beyond logo up meow. Side here, it says Batman. Come around to the back, and you got Batman. Now, one thing that would be cool, one of the very first Batman Batman Beyond figures that was released by Hasbro, I want to say, was this really cool, like, bluish semi-translucent thing, which I guess was meant to kind of replicate him in his stealth mode. That would be cool if they repainted him or like gave us another version of him like that. Like I said, originally they did not do a lot of Batman Beyond figures when it was part of the DC Direct line. I would love to see them, and by them I mean McFarlane Toys, continue on with making some extra figures for it. That would be really cool. Like, if you think back to the Joker Mobile, that was originally designed and created and everything, but then never got released until McFarlane Toys came along and released it. It would be cool if, there were some design bad guys or something like that, that would be cool to get some extra figures to kind of go along with Batman and Bruce Wayne. I would absolutely love that. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further to-do, let's get this guy open and see how cool he actually is. And here we have Terry McGinnis as the Batman in Batman Beyond, open up out of his packaging, and again, looking absolutely spectacular. Now, again, this is a re-release by McFarlane Toys of a figure that came out, God, like 6-7 years ago, something like that, by the folks over at DC Collectibles, DC Direct, whatever you want to call it. But the figure is still outstanding. It really, really is. New for this release is the collector card. You got a really cool image of Batman from Batman Beyond right there. Very, I don't want to say different, but there was a massive update to this particular character of Batman in the Batman Beyond show, and I love it. I think that it's very cool. I mean, you got a very black, very dark suit, whereas the other one it was gray, right? So it's like there was gray, there was some like black elements to it, depending on like the lighting for things. You know, you got some blue, but this was always black, which is fantastic. And then you can see like the cell shading gave him a grayish kind of color. But I also really love the simplicity of it, especially like when you look at the face. Now, in the original Batman, obviously, you know, it was just from like that up was what was covered. This now has the bottom of his mouth covered, which is fantastic. I love it. And the suit is very high-tech. There's a lot of gadgets and gizmos that are built into it, including these wings, which allow him to fly, which is something that the original Bruce Wayne Batman never could do. I also really love the red on the wings, but specifically the logo. I just love that design. Come around to the back, you can see you got a little bit of a read-up on them. Not really anything that we don't already know, but figure-wise, fantastic. Again, much like that Bruce Wayne figure that we took a look at in the last review, you do get a display stand. Again, it's got this little C-clamp sort of thing, so it kind of helps him stand. As you can see, he can stand pretty decently. You do have to kind of futz around with his legs and his feet to kind of balance them. But you can get him to stand perfectly fine. It might also help to use some floor polish to tighten up those ankles. I might do that just as a precautionary kind of thing, because you can see how small his feet and his legs are compared to the large upper body. Now, the wings are removable. I'll show you how to do that here in a bit. So it will lower his center of gravity by removing that and not make him as top heavy. But still, I might put that little floor polish thing in there just to kind of tighten things up with the ankles. But you do have this if you wanted to display him with it. You would just put this around his waist, clap that around it, and be fine. For me, I'm probably just going to use this base with other figures that I have in my display that really don't stand very well. So that's nice to get. You also do get two of the updated looking batarangs, which I love. They kind of like the wings extend out, and very, very cool, but they kind of shrink down, and then, you know, you can store them, and then and you can throw them. I love these guys. These are super cool, and you can see very, very classic look for them with the red on the outer section. You got the kind of outer bits kind of making up the wings, the middle section kind of making up like the body of it. Very, very cool. And then you got several different hands here. You got kind of like a flying hand. Let's see. These are kind of just like, well, this is kind of like a gripping hand of sorts. I mean, it's slightly different. So you have that. You got fists that are on them. These ones, this is kind of like a gripping one as well. Same as this. So you get a right and left one for that. And then what looks like something that you can hold. Sorry, my nose is running. You can hold the batarang. And oh yeah, that works perfect. Love that. So you get a right and left hand that you can use to hold the batarang. So if you wanted to have him tossing it, you could do something like that. super, super cool. As I mentioned, the wings are removable. They just peg in, so you can pull these off just like that. Now, the nice thing about these is these are articulated. The part that's not nice, and I'm going to try to get them to stand here. The part that is not nice is the articulation really kind of breaks up the illusion of things. In the show, it kind of looked like the wings came out from like his armpit, like the underarm area here. So when you have these on, you just plug that in there like that and then straighten it. The problem that I have with it is it's a little bit higher, and you can't really bring this all the way up to kind of have it be up along the top section. I wish you could. Now, as it is, you're just going to kind of fly around like that with it. But these are articulated, so you can move these. But again, that just kind of breaks up the look of everything. Because again, these were attached to his arms. So, I mean, I get that you would want to move these around, but the arms can't go up that high. First of all, I mean, I guess you could maybe rotate them, like that. I don't know. I still don't think that looks very good, realistically. But I just don't like the breakup of it. Honestly, I'm not even going to display them with the wings on there. But, and then when you have it like this, I do like the fact that it kind of comes around here to the back and hides that split. You don't really see it at all unless you kind of get in a different angle. So I like it. I also kind of like how, it matches with the cartoon, so it makes sense. It's just, I feel like the armature and the articulation is kind of pointless to have, because you can't really move the arms into position to kind of utilize that. So it is what it is, but you're just going to detach that, and, otherwise you could just have him stand there, which, like I said, that's more than likely just how I'm going to do it, just because I don't have a lot of space now in my Batman animated section. So that works perfectly fine. And again, I don't know why my nose has decided to run so much. So that's nice. Figure-wise, though, is fantastic. It absolutely looks like it jumped off the screen and really does capture the look of Terry McGinnis, a.k.a. Bruce Wayne's son. Yeah, I said it. For those of you that don't know, it's actually revealed later on in an episode of Justice League, I believe, that Terry McGinnis is actually the son of Bruce Wayne. It's a story that's told to him by Amanda Waller, where, yes, his mother gave birth to him. He's not a clone. He's a little bit different than that. His dad, Terry McGinnis' dad, which I don't remember his name, went in for like a flu shot or something like that, and they found out about it, and they instead injected him with some type of chemical that rewrote the reproductive markers in his body, so that when he and his mother did the deed and had a baby, it was the genetic information of Bruce Wayne that went into creating him, not his actual father. So technically, it's kind of like Bruce Wayne did the deed with his mom. So there, yeah, like I said, he's not a clone, because a clone would be like an exact genetic copy of Bruce. His genetic material was inserted, I'm trying to say this as PG-ish as possible, or PG-13, I suppose, but it was the combined genetic makeup of his actual mother and Bruce Wayne that created Terry. And Amanda Waller goes on to say that he's definitely not a clone of him. He doesn't have the same mental capacity as Bruce does, but he's has the same heart, has the same desire to do good, all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, so he's a son. But the design and honestly, now that I'm talking about it, I remember that episode, but I don't even know, because this was Amanda Waller saying that the world always needs a Batman. I don't know if Bruce actually knew that Terry was his son. Because I remember that episode, and I don't think it's said in that. So if any of you guys know, leave me a comment letting me know if Bruce ever finds out. I mean, that would actually be kind of funny if he didn't know ever. So very cool. But the overall design, getting back to the figure, is very, very cool. You got this gorgeous black color all the way around. You got, of course, the little arm sections, which is very iconic to Batman. You got the very large ears. Now, these ears are very iconic for Batman. In this particular suit, though, they're much more exaggerated, which I think is cool. You got the gorgeous red logo on there, which is a separate, well, it's not separate, but it's like a different molded piece. It's not just painted on there. So I really like that that's sculpted in. Then you got the belt, his utility belt, like I said, does a lot of different things for him, including allowing him to go stealthy, allows him to fly, all sorts of different things. It was always kind of weird to me that his suit would allow him to fly, but he also did have like a Batmobile, which was like a flying jet, which that's weird. But I love the eyes, very clean, very white. You got the mouth right there. Articulation-wise, I am a little bit disappointed in it, and only really here in the neck. The head is on, well, the whole head is on a ball joint, but you don't get much up and down. That's it. So if you're going to have him flying, you're going to have to kind of angle him back to kind of have him looking forward, and he's still not going to look very forward. I wish there was a separate hinge. Like, if this was a ball joint attached to a hinge that you could hinge that back, that would be really cool. Shoulders here are on pin hinge joints, so you get a good range of motion with that. You do get an elbow bend. You also do get a rotation at the elbow. The wrists rotate around. They also hinge forward and back a little bit. Come down to the ankle or the waist. You got a waist rotation. Hips move forward and back, in and out. There's no rotation, which really does suck. You got a bend here at the knee, and then you come down to the ankle, and you got the forward and back, and then you got a little bit of tilt to it, so you can kind of get a little bit wider of a pose. But again, you can see how slender the legs are, and the feet are tiny. So, like I said, you do kind of have to set them down and then kind of position him so he stands there. All in all, the figure is fantastic. As I said, it is a beautiful recreation of how he looked in the cartoon. Action figure wise, you're not going to get a lot of poses. I mean, you do have the display stand here, which you could probably get some better poses with them because you can balance them on that. But as he stands there, you're not going to get a lot of crazy dynamic poses with him. The ankles are sufficient enough that it does kind of hold his weight with or without the wings on there. So that's nice to see. I will probably tighten them up just a hair, just because, why not, kind of thing. But overall, I absolutely love this figure. I think he's fantastic. I really did enjoy the Batman animated series. And when it continued on for Batman Beyond, I absolutely loved that as well. There's a lot of other really good DC animated series. I think there's a total of 8 in the continuity of the animated series, and I've really only watched these 2. I've seen a little bit of Justice League. I've seen a few of the Superman animated series, which realistically I should watch all of those because I think they're on like HBO Max or something like that. But at least I think so. I mean, I've seen advertisements, I believe. So definitely recommend getting this figure. Now, initially, it did appear that it was going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive like Bruce Wayne. However, this was purchased at, I believe, Walmart. Or maybe it was Target. It was a store. It was purchased at a store. So they are hitting retail locations right now. So if you are interested in this guy and you didn't want to get Bruce Wayne years ago with him, and you just want to get Terry McGinnis by himself, you can now. And that's the nice thing that they have done. Still think that for the most part, people that are going to want this are going to want Bruce Wayne and vice versa. So I don't think that they really needed to split the pack up, but they did. You know, either way, it is what it is. And it allows people to get the figure that they might have missed out on before, because I certainly did. And I'm thrilled and happy to have this guy. Pretty soon, I think in December, we're going to be getting the re-release of the Batwing, which I'm also super thrilled and excited about getting. And then after that, I don't really see myself getting a lot more of these. just because I pretty much already have all the original ones from the DC Direct DC Collectibles release. Unless they do the Batcave, then I'll probably pick that up. So you got two big pieces coming out potentially. Well, one is, one maybe. So if you guys enjoy these videos, let me know. Hit that thumbs up button. Let me see all the support that you guys can give me. I know you can give me a lot of it. I know that these videos aren't Transformer related, and I hope you enjoyed my little Batman week sort of thing here, celebrating 25 years of Batman Beyond. But please hit that thumbs up button. All that support really does go a long way towards helping me out and helps me to be able to do other Transformer reviews. I do have a nice one that's coming up, so hopefully you guys stick around for that. But until next time, everybody, this has been Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and auf Wiedersehen.